it's a Tuesday, but I didn't even say welcome back. I'm just like rushing into this is what I'm realizing. It is also another cloudy day, which I really can't do much about because it's just winter. Which is also going to make my screen is going to be too bright or too dull, or I'm gonna have to change it in accordance. I don't know why I'm like rushing into everything. It's like my brain's on fire, but that's probably because I have coursework due. You might be like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you recording this right now if you have coursework due? Which, you know what, valid question. Let me just tilt you. I'm not prepared for life. I'm just not prepared for anything. But no, I'm doing okay-ish, kind of. Not really, but I know I won't get time later on to do a video for this week, so I have to at least record the footage for this video. But it's going to be a simple one. It's just going to be making a template for page 34. And usually what I do, I have to remember to eat as well. I forgot, lol. Anyways, usually what happens is I have these two mangas that I use. I say usually as in last week because I bought the second one last time. Not last week, but last time. What did I drop? Anyways. Oh wait, why did I put that there? Oh, I forgot how reflective this like Lloyd cover is. But this is one of the books. The other book that I got was the first volume of the summer Hikaru died, but that's on my shelf over there and I can't be asked to get it. I always nearly say the summer I turned pretty every time I say the name of the show, but that's just because they have summer in them both, you know. I'm a bit silly like that. Anyways, basically, ideally, in a situation where I didn't have coursework due very soon, I would get both of these mangas and kind of flick through and look for like sort of panels or like poses that seem like interesting, just to like sort of diversify, I guess, the way that I draw them, because I realize I draw a lot of just like not even like straightforward, but it's like we're watching them at this angle only, we're never seeing them from that angle or this angle or that angle or that angle, you know what I mean? Anyways, that's it, that's the end of my story. I forgot where I was going with this. Anyways, yeah, so usually I use them as a reference, but because I want to kind of just speed run today, so it's just going to be a simple page, I think. But yeah, so that's what I have to do, and then I have to do this in my own time, but that's kind of put on hold. I can holdify that. I just said holdify. But anyways, I can put that on hold for like at least till the end of the week or whatever.
I'm gonna go cry.
But before that, I will make a page with you. I also don't know how much my iPad is charged because I'm just smart. I might just have this on standby in case I do want to look at a reference, but I don't really know. I don't know what I want. So, also, I don't know if by the end of this you will get a reference like, I don't know if by the end of this YAP seshi, like me talky drawy thing, will there be like a satisfying reveal or not? There might be. I might just like finish this off the day of upload and be like, hey, here's and record like the like sort of like, oh my god, here's how it looks kind of thing, and then edit it and post it because sometimes I'm a bit crazy. We're at 51%, that's kind of okay. So what I'm gonna do is duplicate. So if you're new here, which apparently a lot of you are, I can't really say that like this is coming out anytime soon. It's gonna hopefully come out in November next year. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully your algorithm helps you out to find it if you're interested. But if you sub, then I can probably tell you. But you can just keep an eye out. But also in my like description-y thing, there's like the second channel that it's gonna come out on. But that channel is bare right now. So yeah, that's the end of my little thing. But like, don't feel pressured to subscribe to that one because there's nothing there. There is one person out there who's subscribed to it besides me, so thank you, person. Anyways, so these are how the pages look. They're like mahusive, and then I have to format them into like the YouTube scrolly format or the webtoon format. So usually what I do is I make a template for each. The last template pages is kind of what I made here, so I'm gonna select this and duplicate it. It just crashed. It crashed. I was gonna say because oh wait, this is all spoilers, guys. It keeps crashing. I'm trying to duplicate the canvas, but it won't let me. Okay, it's taken me like 7 minutes to figure this out because every time I tried to duplicate this canvas or one of the adjacent canvases for the other pages, it wouldn't let me do it. So I had to just make another, and then I thought like, oh, what if I had actually, I don't know if you can see this properly. Anyways, so I had to like see if I had them stored in the backups, but I apparently don't have them stored in my backups, like in my iCloud. Specifically the template I do have like the pages and the Procreate file for the pages stored. So I couldn't just go to my like iCloud and then upload it. So then I was like, oh my gosh, okay, let me just make a new canvas and then copy and paste each layer. So I copied in each the previous 3 layers because this is sort of like the template for the pages. So there's basically, I put 2 pages out so that way it's easier for me to see the flow of things. That's kind of it. And then the second thing is just to help give it like the white canvas, and then this is where I draw and I add the text. So first I'm going to change the names of these things, and I believe it's in the same white as that, so that makes it easy. So we'll be working on page 34 and 35. Likely 35 is not going to get done. Don't hold your breath. With this, I had extra text that I had sorted out, but I didn't end up using because of the way that things were. What I might do is I might just yeet this all out, which makes more sense, and do it the normal way that I do. Oh, I can't see. Why can't I see? Oh, it's because I put the brightness down. Okay, basically, I'm going to just bring back this, the finished version of page 33 in as a reference so that I can refer to it whilst doing this. So that should make this a lot easier. Also, the fact that I've got some of these texts already separated out, that helps quite a bit actually. So I think I should scale this up. Maybe I should have kept the I hissed part so that I could see the sort of like reference point of how big I want these bits to be. Around about there-ish, I think. So this is going to be my new reference for how big I want the text to be. Then I'm just going to grab this and eat it underneath. I'm also just going to load in the reference for the other page that I did last time. But yeah, this is something that I've been noticing like since I updated my Procreate. Like my iPad is finding it difficult to duplicate the large files that I work on, which I know the files that I work on are like very huge. Like, did we really need this much detail? Not really, but it just sort of happens. It's better to work big than it is to work small, but it also is a hassle to, like, you know, store. Can you see properly? I feel like I should be zoomed in more of the time because that way you can see. So anyways, that's the flow. Jazz says, then how'd you convince her? And she pets Rookie, and then Laura sighs and then says it was mainly Max, and then she goes like, oh, I thought so, you know, blah, blah, blah. Oh wait, this is the part where she goes, honestly, from the two of you, you seem more likely to be the actually adopted one. I can't read, but that's kind of funny. I forgot. This is set in 2016. I feel like that's how 2016 humor used to be. I lived through it, but I don't really remember much. Except for, I'm pretty sure when I started writing this story, it was set in 2016. I mean, like, it was 2016 or 15 maybe, something like that. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just clear up some more text because I don't think that's going to take too much space, honestly. Anyways, she says I can, because she goes like, oh, everybody. She basically, Laura kind of gets jealous, kind of, so like subtly, like not very subtly, but she's just a bit annoyed at Rookie right now, and that Rookie's getting attention, and now she's a bit annoyed that Max is getting attention because Max always gets attention from Jazz, and now Rookie's stolen her attention. Yeah, that's just because again, like with the first book, and this is kind of what I said about this part, not this page in particular, but the page before that, is that I wanted it at the beginning to seem like these are very young, they're very kid, they're very like I need there to be room for personal development is what I'm trying to say, which, you know, they develop. This is like a series, not like a standalone book. It's a fantasy one, in case you wanted to know. I can't really say much more because I don't want to spoil things for people. And I wish I was brighter outside so I could put the brightness out, because like it's very hard to see the sort of like where the canvas stops. I think would probably be solved if I just put this as a bright like color. Silly me. That kind of works well for you, I think. Okay. Like my timer says 23 minutes, but it's not going to be 20, like I've been recording for 23 minutes, but like 7 of those minutes are wasted. I think max I'm going to just record for an hour and then I'll go and move on with my life because I just don't have time. But I need to get a video done as well. Don't say I don't feed you. Have we met her mom yet? I think we have. But do I want to show her mom in this scene? Like, because I'm working on the 3rd chapter, but I haven't worked on the 1st and 2nd because I was like, let me get the mistakes out that I would inevitably make on the 3rd chapter. Also, my chapters are volumes, but I just call them chapters, so just bear with that. So I might show her mom then, which I think is going to be the first time I'm drawing her in this. But she doesn't look too different to Laura, just maybe like, I say maybe like as if I don't know how she looks like. Choices. The voices. Because like I could. But there's like a scene where it's like more in detail about her. And technically, oh yeah, I forgot to say, this is like written as a novel, illustrated as a thingy. Because I wrote it as a novel because some of the narration works better in that form. But I also want to make it like this because I'm just a bit crazy like that. As if I have time in the world, all the time in the world. I wish there was, you know, like a pit stop where you could just go and then time just doesn't work. I need a TARDIS, is what I'm saying. Just put me somewhere and then I'll just work and then I'll come back and then I'll be like, oh my god, I finished it. And then I'll just get my my novel and my writing and everything, my, what is this, webcomic done. Anyways, I'm here to, okay, maybe I could hint to her mom, but then I'm also like, do I really want to? Or I could do like a chibi version of her mom, you know what I mean? Which in that case, it's not too much detail. Because we kind of already met her mom because like on her walk home or whatever, like the day before or whatever, she goes like, oh, mom said like the supper was nearly on or whatever. So I think I will show the mom over there. But I think because she hasn't fully been introduced, as in we haven't had like a direct scene with her yet, I might just do her as a bit of a chibi form. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I'll see how I feel. I say that as if I'm not going to decide right now. The good thing about doing these templates and stuff instead of rushing in is that I can easily space out how I want the text to look and stuff. Because before what I would do is I wouldn't really write the text, but I would just indicate with a speech bubble and like a couple of words of how that text would essentially look. That meant I spent a lot of time doing the text as well in the thing. So this helps make the actual webcomic making panels easier. And also, again, it really helps with like the flow of the story and stuff. How things like flow from one page to another. Though I think my flow isn't that great. Like some of this, like eye looking wise, like some of this page is pretty fine. But some of the interconnection bits aren't necessarily the best. But then the problem also becomes that because like I'm catering for both and like for YouTube and for web comics or webtoons. Webtoons, again, more of a scrolly format. You have like this sort of like size of a screen to work with. Whereas like YouTube, you're working like this. So it's like about like how much of this am I going to fit in like one, you get what I'm saying? Trying to say? Like it would flow like this for YouTube. But then for like webcomics, it would flow something a bit more like this. So it's like kind of trying to make the storytelling or like the spacing work for both. And like not in this scene, but like in the previous scenes, like when she was chasing Rookie down the street or so, trying to keep that pace, but then also catering for both. Because there was once where like I did like a big panel of like her just like being like, what? And she's just like looking at Rookie and Rookie's like thinking. But the problem with that is that this part, which is like the YouTube formatting, if you think, it would have to like scroll down the whole thing. But it works perfectly for webcomics. But it's just, it is what it is. You can't really do much about it. I should stop yapping and continue because, again, then I won't really have much to show you. This is definitely going to be more like a yap with me type of situation. I've already pre-warned you, like, most likely there's not really going to be much with this. Also, I'd be narrating the YouTube version, so that's a whole other thing. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, wait. Do I want it like that? Or I might split it like this, actually. I don't know what that's about. This is like the slow, boring bit, but it's also like the easiest to yap in because right now I'm just deconstructing sort of the parts where they speak and then the sort of like sentences in between. Can you hear the plane? There's a plane outside. This might look a bit messy, I'm not too sure. That's okay. Okay, so this is gonna be Jazz speaking. That might be like a jointed thing. Oh, I was thinking about something, but I forgot what. Oh yeah, you know the Summer Hikaru died. that. So I finally finished the first volume. But so I watched also the first episode of the anime, because basically the reason why I bought it was the problem that I have with Spy Family is that because I've already watched the anime, I can't find myself reading it. So I'm not really studying it. The reason why I bought The Summer Hikaru Dies is because I saw like a teaser on Netflix, and it seemed very airy, which is like something I wanted to study, like sort of like the sort of offbeatness about it, which it is quite offbeat, but like sort of the way it translates into the Netflix adaptation is quite different. Like there's some characters that you see in the first episode that you haven't met in the first volume, and there's certain events that happen in the first volumes that haven't happened in the first episode. I assume they happen like there's like kind of multiple point of views, or like you're following a couple of characters in the anime, whilst in the manga it's very like centric to like sort of our main guy. I forgot his name, can't lie, sorry, not Hikaru, the other guy, like his kind of feelings and stuff, or like the way he's interacting with the world and his situation around him. But yeah, it's very interesting though how that translates. But I think for Spy Family, from like what I read before, is it's like quite a one-to-one. But I also don't know if the difference is because like the Summer Hikaru Died as a anime on Netflix feels like it was a higher production, potentially. I think it is, like it feels a bit more like refined, or like a lot of thought kind of put into it on how to like change the pacing to better fit the format or whatever. I guess also because it's a lot more of a serious anime in comparison to like Spy Family. Spy Family is relatively like, you know, it's not as eerie. It's definitely a little bit more wholesome and cheery and stuff. Currently what I'm watching as well is Sakamoto Days, which I don't remember what happened in season 1, part 1. I don't know if it's split into parts actually. It's going so good. I feel like the thing that I would sort of like compare it to is pretty much like JJK, like Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's a bit more like chill. I don't like this. I don't like kids at all. I think what I need is She Continued. Can you? Okay. Yeah, but it's a lot more wholesome. I think also for me, a lot of times fight scenes in general get tiring to watch or tiring to be engaging. But I think the way that Sakamoto Days does it is quite like engaging in a way that works for me. Like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know like if everybody feels that way about it, but for me, like, to be fair, I always thought like fight scenes were quite like easy to disengage from. Like I can easily just like not care too much about when a fight scene comes on, or I can easily see myself like my train of thought just drifting elsewhere. Track in mind, wow. Anyways, I can find that like I start thinking about other things rather than paying attention to the show. But with Sakamoto Days, I don't know if it's also like the pacing, like the fights aren't too long, or they're not too dragging, or like we can easily like switch to certain other perspectives or so, which with Majestic Guardian as a series, there are like a lot of fight scenes. I can't really say much, but again, because of the whole like sort of magic system, even though Rookie would say don't call it that, but because of the whole like power system, there are different abilities and whatnot, there are fights that take place. So for me as well, trying to like get them to be engaging whilst also being someone who often gets disengaged with fights, like if they drag on for too long, or if it's like, you know, does that make sense? I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, that's just something that like I think Sakamoto Days does well for people like me, for whom fights can get tedious for. Does that make sense? Am I making sense, people? You know what? Because I've been yapping for quite a while. I might just stop after I've finished this, like the text part, and I might just come back and be like, hey yo, I did the, what's it called? The drawings, which is a bit unfortunate, but also at the same time, I have coursework due, which is never great. But I'm hoping I'll find time elsewhere to do this and finish it off so that I have something to show you, because then that would be kind of sad. Also, what would I put for my thumbnail? Just like, hey, look at text and yap with me. Kind of nearly finished with the text, but yeah, I just unfortunately I cannot. I knew that this anyways, like making these templates usually is a bit of a tedious task for me, though it helps me in the long run. but it just aligned that also I have coursework this week. So I should have probably planned that better to have more of an engaging video. But I don't. I have the long tedious one where like legitimately I've practically done nothing. Bit of an L that I have to take, unfortunately, at this time. Thoughts and prayers. Actually, to be fair, there's not drawing wise, it's if I just do page 34, that's not too much. My throat's also dying, so I feel like that's a sign that I should leave. I also said this before and I started talking about it and then I tangented off into a different direction. But I wanted the word bubbles to kind of seem like, if this is from Laura's perspective, which it is, she's the narrator, I kind of want it to seem that like and it kind of does seem like she's drawing it because of the way like she tapes in photos or whatever, like the taped in photos, it kind of just looks like she's adding her bit. So I kind of like, it's not very prevalent here in this page, but it's prevalent in a previous page where I just kind of am a bit more like loose with like the speech bubbles and stuff, kind of to give the sense of like there's no formality, there's no sort of rigidness, this is just her with her friend and she's just a girl, you know, in 2016, and they're just yapping the way that like she's just acting like it's a very normal day despite the events that occurred yesterday night, you know, which was that she met him, if you didn't know. So we'd have like Laura here and she'd be like I don't know, she'd just be a bit like maybe she's a bit like holding her bag and stuff and being like, which I think was her in another scene as well, but it'll be funny. And then maybe we could have like a scene with her eye where she's like, well, not like that exactly. Like I just want it to seem like she's a bit snooty in this scene. Like, she's got her nose high and everything, that type of look. But I don't want her eyebrows to seem scrunched. I want them to seem like she's got her nose high. Wouldn't her eyes be a bit twisted low? Now that I'm trying to do the expression, something like that. It's more like the lid's like completely falling onto her eye and then she's just like, you don't know what you're talking about, type of thing. It's a self-fix later. And then what's the next thing? Yeah, sure. She smirked. See, this as well, like the expressions I usually can get from those, like the mangas, because it's just easier. So then I kind of want this to sort of overlap with the Laura, because I just kind of want it to be like, she's not buying what Laura's saying. She's just like, okay, yeah, sure. I kind of want Laura to be bigger then, if that's how big, like, oh. But also there's like this not necessarily conflict, but there's this sort of like, what's the correct word? Like, there's this contrast, or maybe like even this dissonance between the way that Laura presents herself. Oh my gosh, I'm on 5%, I should dip. There's this cognitive like dissonance, or potentially just dissonance, in the way that Laura decides to portray herself as sort of like the narrator and sort of like the artist that we follow. Because it's not necessarily directly that she's drawing the panels, but it's more like implied, because she's like presenting different pieces as like when describing where Jazz lives and stuff, there's like sellotaped Polaroids. I can't, maybe I should go. There's like sellotaped Polaroids and stuff. Maybe I should attach this, maybe it will do something. I need to buy a new charger as well, this one is dying. Will you just fit inside? Let me check. Nope, it didn't. Lol, I'm on 5%. Okay, now I can't touch it. Basically what I'm saying is there is this dissonance between the way that Laura presents herself and the way that like her actions, like she's like, that kind of seems very like childish, very like I want the attention or whatever. But the way that she portrays herself, she doesn't sort of double down on like, oh, like woe is me type of thing. Like she presents herself being snooty and stuff. Like it's more like she's self-aware that she's like this. I won't really say much, but there is this like sense of dissonance, or this sense of contrast with the way that she's like self-aware at the fact that she's just being childish, or that she's just being a bit snooty and stuff. But that's more so because she was like this at the beginning of like the events that take place throughout her life in Majestic Guardian. So it's like from her point of view, like she's aware that like, oh, she was like this. She's mature enough now as the narrator to be like, yeah, I was flawed previously, or like, yeah, these were my flaws at that certain time period, which I think is a bit more valid, a bit more real. Like people act like that, like, you know what I mean? Like not everybody was the same person that they were. Like, obviously you grow and obviously, like, you learn from your mistakes and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. And, like, retrospectively, you're, like, looking at stuff and you're like, oh, yeah, I can see that I was like that. Or, like, oh, yeah, I definitely improved on XYZ. So, that's just me forming thoughts right now. But this is nearly done, so I should go. And also, like, another thing is, like, the way that she's presenting Jazz. And, like, clearly there's, like, Jazz is her bestie. She draws her very nicely. The way that she draws Rookie in some other scenes is very, like, half-hearted or whatever. Like it's because she's kind of annoyed at him in that scene or whatever. Or, like, he's just being annoying to her. So she just, like, portrays him as such. Which is, you know, a fun thing. I think I'm just gonna end it there. But, yeah, that's kind of it for now. I will come back after I've done the page, but I'm also on 10%. I just checked right now, and I have coursework due if we all forgot, which I did, can't lie. So I'm gonna just dip and do coursework and eat and do other, like, life shenanigans, and then I'll be back probably on a Thursday or a Friday with, like, the finished illustration and being like, hey, yo, it's done, hello, and then speedrunning editing the same day and then uploading and stuff, because that's always fun. Anyways, see ya, bye. I am a free woman. It is, I was gonna say Saturday, it's not a Saturday, but this video is probably gonna go up on a Saturday because my cat just pushed me. My cat is sitting on my chair, so I can't sit on my chair, obviously, like cat laws. So I'm standing up. It's also late, so my light is on, so that's why there looks like there's just like a sniper shot at Jazz, but if we ignore that. I've done page 34's layout. Basically, this is very hard to do while standing, but, like, you know, I can't really do much. My cat's in the way. Anyways, so we have Laura being Snooty, and then it going to, like, yeah, sure, maybe I should get rid of this. What about that? Oh, I wasn't even covering that properly. Okay. Anyways, so after that, it goes to, like, Jazz being like, yeah, sure, and she smirked and stuff. And I just didn't want her to seem too mean because of what comes next, so I just put a little heart there. And again, if it's from Laura's perspective, this kind of just shows that, you know, it's just the banter between her and Jazz. It's just their relationship. Anyways, and then it goes to this, and I can't figure out her arm, and it's too late, and I'm too tired, and I need to rest. But I need to edit this as well, so this can come out, like, either tomorrow or very late on a Friday night. And it's currently, I want to say it's like 9 already, so it depends how fast I can edit. But yeah, I basically allowed there to be a lot of space because I couldn't really add a drawing with this text, which is where, like, Laura's mom, like a chibi of Laura's mom would be displayed. So I just decided to skip that and put it with the next page to come so that I can draw, like, a little chibi version-esque version of Laura's mom, who looks quite a lot like Laura. Anyways, so yeah, that's that. Oh my god, I completely forgot. Oh, there's some cat food there. Don't mind it. My cat just sometimes likes to eat on the desk. It's okay. You didn't see anything. I'll just crop it out of the way, maybe. Can you see my cat? Can you see her? She looks so yellow because of all the lighting. That's so funny. Anyways, you didn't see that. You didn't see me either, and I'm gonna disappear. I'm totally not recording this like very, very late or whatever. Anyways, and then that is it. And yeah, this all I'll probably tackle next video, maybe. And then I'll get around to, or I might not need to tackle it next video. We'll see. I might do it in my own time. But ASMR. Anyways, but I'll see you. Yeah, oh no, my cat's looking for more. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, please. Okay. Is everything okay? I think everything's fine. It doesn't look like she did much damage. So, I will see you next time. Bye. See ya. Should I sit down for this part? Wow. Yay. Also, oh my gosh, the last video. So many of you. There's new people. Wow. Thanks. Also, I realized I saw on, like, usually I don't check the other channel, but I saw that there's 4 subs now. So, lol, thanks. See you in a year's time, basically. Anyways, thank you, though, actually. And yeah, I'll see you next time. See ya, bye. My cat is doing some such shenanigans and I have to edit now, so wish me luck. You probably will be able to tell by the time this video comes out whether or not I was able to edit quickly or not. But I recorded so much as well, so I just shot myself in the foot like I usually do. Anyways, bye. See ya.